Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyane. The greatest malady of the politics and governance of present-day South Africa is the continued involvement of politicians and our leaders in corrupt activities. That is the sad indictment that this administration faces since 1994. We saw state capture, and just when we thought that state capture had come to an end in 2017, we are back where it all started. Nothing much has changed. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this in the light of what is going on before the Matanga Commission. The disclosures that Matanga is making before that commission. You see, because central to that inquiry is the extent to which senior people in government were involved or got entangled with dubious characters from the underworld, criminal syndicates of all sorts. That is central to that inquiry. And at the center of that inquiry is one Brown Mokgotsi from the Northwest Province. Brown Mokgotsi seems to be a very, very pivotal player in the whole scheme of things. He is pivotal because his tentacles extend almost everywhere, and his hand can be seen all over the place. Let us first of all start with his relationship with the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. Senzo Mchunu was at pains in Parliament to deny that he knows Brown Mokgotsi. He categorically denied ever knowing Brown Mokgotsi or knowing Brown Mokgotsi. And the matter sort of rested at that stage. At some stage, when more revelations came forward that linked him to Brown Mokgotsi, Senzo Mchunu then admitted to knowing Brown Mokgotsi. Now, the first question to ask yourself there is, why in the first place would a minister deny knowing someone in Parliament when, as a matter of fact, they know that person? What was the minister running away from here? Well, as things are turning out before the Matanga Commission, it shows that, or it is coming to light, that there was a lot that the minister was running away from. Because Brown Mokgotsi, has disclosed, was privy to the most confidential information within the South African police services. And he's a close associate of the minister, that we now know as a matter of fact. And he is also reported to be a close associate of the President, Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, Brown Mokgotsi is a political activist of sorts in the Northwest, or has political ambitions in the Northwest. And he has been linked to criminal underworld figures like Busmusi Ketmatal. Kwanazi has disclosed, and it is now common cause, that Ketmatala has been bankrolling Mokgosi's political ambitions. In other words, he's the man who has been financing Brown Mokgosi's, many political endeavors, whatever they are. But he's the man who is calling the shots behind, Brown Mokgosi financially. Now, if you extend that association between Ket Matala and Brown Mokgosi to say Brown Mokgosi is also now linked to the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mkhunu. You then draw from that kind of linkage, you then draw, or a clear pattern then emerges of how, things go right up to the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mkhunu. Busmusi Ket Matala has got all the money and is being protected. He's been protected as part of a criminal syndicate at the highest levels by the suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mkhunu himself. So, Ket Matala then has a blank check to do as he pleases. He finances Brown Mokgosi in every way you can think of. In other words, Brown Mokgosi is basically in Ket Matala's pocket. Now, if you take that a stage further, there's also evidence that Brown Mokgosi, in fact, bankrolled the president CR17 campaign. So the net widens and widens. We need to see the state president appear before the Matanga Commission so that he can explain to the nation what connections, if any, he has ever had with Brown Mokgosi. Because this is a very dubious character involved with underworld characters, and the president must come forward to clear up his name. Does the president know Brown Mokgosi? Senzo Mkhunu first denied knowing Brown Mokgosi and later on admitted to knowing Brown Mokgosi. Now, if the president knows Brown Mokgosi, in what capacity does he know him? We need to look into those. To what extent did Brown Mokgosi finance the CR17 campaign? We need answers to those questions. This is why this morning I'm saying it will be very crucial and no doubt seismic for the president to appear before the Matanga Commission to clear up these issues. Because you see, at the end of the day, the buck stops with the state president. And if his name is being bandied about, and with names like Brown Mokgosi, if he's being associated with characters like Brown Mokgosi, there is a lot that the state president has to explain. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the likes and subscriptions that I'm seeing, and please have a wonderful, wonderful day.